Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be a November mid-month wrap-up. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Alright y'all, so I know I got the Christmas sweatshirt on, the Merry and Bright, but if you saw my community tab, you know, and on Instagram. If you ain't following me on Instagram, I post every day on the stories pretty much, but at least something. But I've been posting a lot about my Christmas tree, got it up, been filming Vlogmas, got 5 Vlogmas videos already scheduled out for December. We love to see it. And this is going to be my mid-month wrap-up for November, just to talk about all the books that I've read so far. I'm filming this the night of November 15th, and as of the 15th, I've read 8 books. What? Who am I? Y'all, like, hey. Which sometimes that happens. I've done that before, but I don't know, I just like lots of audiobooks. Nonfiction is really easy to just get right through on the audio side. I've got 3 nonfiction. I want to say it was 3. Whatever. So it's just easier to get through. And yeah, so I've read 8 books this month, and we're going to just jump right into them, okay? Let's do it. First book I want to talk about is actually part of a series, the Sky King Ranch series by Susan May Warren. Book 3, it just came out this month, and that's the book I'll talk about in this video mostly, but I do want to talk about this series as a whole. I had planned on doing like a series review video, but just don't think I'm going to have time for that with all the Vlogmas stuff, and I really want to get this video out here, so hey, we're here. This is a really good series overall. Book 3 fell a little flat for me, but I'll just go ahead and get into it. But book 1 is Sunrise, book 2 is Sunburst, and book 3 is Sundown. I love these covers. They're all unique in their own way, but what's fun about these is they have this like reflective like title on here. In each one you can kind of see, this one's my favorite because it's like really reflective. But yeah, so this is about a pilot named Dodge and his former girlfriend, best friend kind of thing, named Echo. She is like a true homesteader, dog sledder, the whole 9 yards, okay? And one of her researchers goes missing, and they have to work together to try to find them. There's all this crazy stuff going on. It's a good time. I had a lot of fun. It's very action-packed. These are categorized as contemporary romance, but to me, these are so much more than that. Like, they're really like a romantic suspense in my opinion, but yeah, I really like the characters in this one and I had a good time, so I give it 4 stars. It was really intense. I think if you like anything set in Alaska, hey, read it. You're gonna like it, okay? The writing style is addictive, all the things. And that's really like the case for all of these books. The writing style is addictive. It's easy to get through. Lots of fun, lots of characters. So much going on. Book 2 is Sunburst, and I really like this one. I give it 4.5 stars. It's my favorite of the 3. And this is set in Nigeria, and we see some like glimpses of other places like Florida and things like that. But this is following one of the other Kingston brothers, Ranger. Ranger is trying to save his brother Colt from terrorists in Nigeria. When he gets there, he sees that this girl, Noemi, that he met in Florida and had like a couple of months where he was like getting to know her and stuff. They thought there might have been a romance going on, didn't really know, but he sees that she has also been captured. So things get crazy super fast. And I just felt like it was really action-packed. He was trying to like keep everybody safe, save them. There's all this Navy SEAL stuff, hostage situation. They're trying to escape Nigeria, all the things. It's very engaging and it's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. So I really liked book 2, but then when I got to book 3, y'all, I was so disappointed. Like, this one is just like, it's a perfect example of a book that just wasn't for me. You may enjoy it, but personally, I got really bogged down in a lot of the science and medical jargon. I'll get into it in just a minute, but I still really liked like the faith and action in this book, and I think that's what kept me going. Plus, we got to see characters from book 1 and 2 in here, and that was really great. But still, I just couldn't get past some of this stuff. So let me tell you what this is about. Main characters in here are Colt Kingston, who was in a previous book, and then we had Tay. Tay is this girl that was like rescued off of their Alaskan property in a blizzard, okay? They found this crashed plane. She has survived. What's going on? What's up with the plane? They go to the plane. They're like, she's looking for her knapsack. Or was it a knapsack? Her backpack? Sorry. But she's looking for her stuff because she is a medical researcher who trying to make a vaccine for I'm sorry, I couldn't even take it serious. She's trying to make a vaccine for an old, like, locked away, what was it? Smallpox. Okay. And I just couldn't with this, okay? And I'm sorry. It was just personal for me because I just didn't want to read about something that I felt like was COVID, okay? So, there we are. I mean, I didn't want to read about that storyline here. And, yeah, that's what most of this was. She was supposed to be like saving the day, the hero with the vaccine and all this stuff. And I just felt like we've overdone that storyline a lot. And maybe this was written before 2020 technically, but like it was too soon for me. And yeah, it just it didn't sit with me, you know? She's like an infectious disease specialist, this girl in here. And they're really suspicious of her. There's all this stuff going on. You know, but they use some things. Here, I'll tell you my review. So, some of the language they use is like, she must start over to create her vaccine to save the world from an airborne virus that people don't know that are infected. They don't know they're infected for weeks kind of thing. And it was very dangerous. A lot of that jargon in this book, just kind of like, I didn't want to read about it. So, it was just too soon for me on the plot. And, you know, and their romance was whatever. I guess I just never really connected with them. So, but primarily that, like, COVID plot was like, okay, I don't want to read about this. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm honest here. I still really recommend book 1 and 2, y'all. I highly recommend them. They are just so much fun. And if you kind of want to know what happens a little bit more with these characters in here, you know, the ending was nice and wrapped up very, very nicely in this. It's just that plot was not for me. So yeah, that's it with this series. I still think y'all should check it out. It's like a solid overall 3.5, 4-star series. Lots of fun, all that good stuff. I think the audiobooks are fine. The narrator's not the best, but I have listened to some of it on audio. And yeah, so they're just fun books. But while book 3 wasn't my favorite, I still recommend book 1 and 2. So yeah, that's my spiel on the Sky King Ranch, okay? More positive note, because most of this in here is positive. I got one DNF I'll talk about, but hey, right now we're talking about Waypoints. Waypoints by Sam Heughan, My Scottish Journey. If you're an Outlander fan, or if you like anything Scottish, this is for you. I am a huge Outlander fan, and I love all things Scottish. So it was perfect for me. I give it 4 stars. This is pretty much all about Sam's life, and he talks about his life growing up, his struggles of not having a father in his life, which I did not know, the starting of his acting career, his travels in Scotland, which I listened to this on audio, and it was amazing. First off, he's the best narrator ever, so hey, we love to see it. But he had some extra stuff like thrown in there in the narration that was a lot of fun, like him trying to climb to Ben Nevis, I want to say. Like he was like hiking and all the things. You could hear the rain. I thought that was a really great experience. It was really immersive, and like I could just feel like I was at Scotland, and a lot of his just like the way he explained things, and he would like laugh and joke throughout the narration. So I highly recommend the audiobook for this. I also really appreciated how he addressed, and I didn't even know some of this stuff, but like if you've watched Outlander, or you know what happens at the end of season 1 and the end of book 1, the traumatic stuff that happens at the end of that, he addressed how badly the show handled what happened there, and how like if they filmed it today, it would be a lot different, handled better, and how they got additional staff after that season to like, you know, kind of be that third party stand-in for filming those awkward scenes and a lot of hard things that they had to film. Like just the trauma and different things like that and how to handle that. And I appreciated his thoughts there, because if you know what happens at the end of book 1 of Outlander and season 1, I've never even watched it. I still won't watch it. I don't agree with it. I don't like that it's in there. It's the one thing that keeps that book, like I say, it's a 5-star series for me, and I really liked book 1, but it's the one part of that book that bothers me is the ending, part of the ending there and what happens. And so that's just my personal take there. But yeah, it's still my favorite series, but like I said before, I don't agree with everything that's in there. But again, the time period and all these things, I'm looping here. I'm just saying, I appreciated that he talked about that. He talked about how Hollywood could have done better there, and I really appreciated it. So yeah, I give this 4 stars. really eye-opening, and just loved his insight about acting and Scotland and all things, and his new ventures and just everything he's doing. Yeah, 4 stars. Great nonfiction read. I wouldn't say it's like groundbreaking. I didn't gain like a ton of things out of it. That's why I just took a 4-star. Hey, it was fine. But I think this book does its purpose if you really are like an Outlander fan or a Scottish fan, all things Scotland. That's who this is for, if that makes sense. Okay, and the next book I want to talk about is Where the Blue Sky Begins by Katie Powner. And I'm pretty sure I said it right, but I love this book, y'all. I gave this 4.5 stars. It was emotional. And at first, I wasn't sure I was going to like vibe with it as much. But once things started happening, it just keeps you turning the pages. Y'all, this is a Christian contemporary story. And I was just an emotional roller coaster, y'all. It left such an impact on my heart. It just kind of reminded me of the same feeling that I got when I read The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp, because this does deal with a character who you know right off the bat is dying. We know that Eunice Parker, or Eunice, is it Eunice? There was something in here about how to pronounce her name. It was like a whole thing. But Eunice Parker is dying from cancer, and it's bladder cancer, and she has to carry a bag around with her, and she's 46 years old. She doesn't have any family, and what happens is she's riding her scooter around because her vehicle's messed up, and Eric Larson's coming to town because Eric Larson's uncle has like a financial firm in town, is set in Montana, and Eric is supposed to be taking over the new little location there. He comes in his little Jeep, and everybody's like, who is this in this small town? And he's like, oh, this is just a little hick town. I don't know about this. And he's not impressed by any means, but he comes in, and him and Eunice, they collide, literally. He pretty much drives through, and I want to say, I don't think he actually hit her. I don't think. It was an accident, but like, I don't know if he just breezed, I can't remember if he just breezed past her or whatever. She ended up like, her scooter went over the bush or something. I want to say, my memory's failing me, but it was something like that, and her scooter ends up damaged. Fast forward to, he is her neighbor, of course, and all these things. And so she goes over there, which I think she's 14 years older than him. So he was like 32. And this is not a romantic interest by any means. But he is over there, and she's like, hey. She goes over there, and she knocks on his door. She says, hey, you knocked me off my scooter. You brought my scooter. I have a bucket list of people I need to talk to. And she doesn't tell him she's dying right off the bat. But she says, I have people I have to see, and you're going to take me, or I'm going to call the police on you. So there's my reenactment. Okay, Eunice is like, look here, blackmail, you going to take me where I need to go, or else. And the whole story kicks off from there. And he's like, well, I don't want to get in trouble my first day in town, so I'll do it. I really appreciated that we had this woman who was going to like all these people in her past to ask for forgiveness. And it really just like, it really makes you think about the people that we need to forgive in our life before it's too late. We're harboring those feelings. Maybe we need to ask for forgiveness and before it's too late, kind of thing. And it really made you think about that in my heart. I was just like, bless her. And there was some stuff at the end. I was like, what? And I was crying. I cried at this. If you saw my vlog, I was crying. She only has a few months to live. She's going through all the emotions from her diagnosis, but in the end, she always knows where she's going. She's talking to the Lord throughout this book about how she feels. She just goes through every emotion throughout the diagnosis, and it's sad, but I just gained so much from her wisdom in here. And her and Eric formed this beautiful friendship in this book. If you like a book that doesn't really have what I would say romance, but a beautiful friendship, this is it. But again, if you're sensitive to someone who is dying from cancer or loss of a loved one, I would stay clear of this, because this is obviously from the very beginning a lot of details about her cancer, her medical diagnosis, and everything there. Eric just started off being this arrogant guy, and he really transformed. He had some kind of weird girl from back home that like didn't add nothing to the story, so I didn't care for her being involved, but I guess it like showed his previous life a little bit, so I get why we had her in here. I could care less about her. I don't even remember her name. Tiffany with an I, okay? I didn't care about her, okay? Tiffany with an I, go bye-bye. Okay, we don't care. So, but I see why she was in here, but yeah, there was all this stuff with her coming back in, and I didn't really care for that. But you could see like he was just changing as a person. He really just he really went out of his way to help Eunice, and I really appreciated it. And there was all this stuff going on, and it's like it's a book that like you don't know you're gonna love it as much till you get like at least 50% in, and you're like, wow, I'm hooked. So I highly recommend this. Thank you to Baker Publishing for sending me this to honestly read and review. This really just touched my heart. And the only reason that this wasn't a 5-star is the Tiffany with an eye parts I didn't care about. And I really wanted more of like faith development with our main guy, but I didn't get it. And so that's the only thing I was missing, but it's still a really great read and I highly recommend it, okay? Next book I read was also a book from Baker Publishing to honestly read and review, and that is Targeted. This is a book that has 3 romantic suspense novellas included by Lynette, Eason, Lynn, Blackburn, and Natalie Walters. And I had a really good time with this. I buddy read this with Alicia from For the Love of Christian Fiction. I'll link her channel down below. But it was such a great time to like read each little novella and chat with her about it. I've never read anything by these other ladies, and I will say I did give this 4 stars. Each one, I'll tell you my individual rating for each novella. But I honestly feel like if I would have read, I didn't realize how these were connected to some of her their other stories, that I feel like if I would have read them, I definitely would have got more out of it after talking to Alicia, because she had read some of the other books connected to these novellas. And it made sense. So I was like, okay, yeah, I would have probably enjoyed some of them a little bit more than I did, but I still really had a great time. You don't have to read the other ones to read these, from what I've been told. But again, you probably get the most out of it, right, if you do. And honestly, I don't even know the series that are connected to all of these. I'd have to look into them. But I think like some of these might be siblings or friends that are in those books, like they're the side character stories in here, you know. The first novella in this is On the Run by Lynette Eason. I gave it 3 stars. It follows 24-year-old Daria, how you say her name, Nevsky, forgive me, she's an FBI agent, and she's on the run from like these Russian mobsters. They're trying to kidnap her. She basically goes to her house, and there's somebody there trying to like rob the house or something, like it was crazy, and they get in this altercation. She gets cut with this knife, and she ends up like stealing the guy's car and driving. It's all within the first like chapter here. She drives like 8 hours, like she's going to her home, another home that she has in South Carolina. I want to say she was going to South Carolina, but yeah, that's right. She was in her home in Virginia when this happened, and she is driving to her old home in South Carolina, which is tied to her father, who was a Russian mobster. So there's all this stuff, and I love the suspense part of that. Like, she just steals the guy's car and takes off, and she ends up realizing something's wrong because she got stabbed. So 8 hours later, she's stopping in at this hospital. Dun dun dun. She meets this man who's the doctor, and is like, hey. So they kind of hit it off. That's where it kind of lost me. Like, he kind of just uprooted his whole life and was like, okay, I'm this doctor, but I'm gonna like take off and help her on her journey to figure out what's going on. Let's just take a drive down to South Carolina. I don't know if that happened. They're not really realistic on that, but hey, I'm fine. I'm here for it, for the story. That's fine. All this stuff starts happening, though. There's like really engaging, action-packed, and I was really invested in the suspense. The romance, I didn't care. Like, there was just something in the romance part that was missing for me, and it was really like insta-lovey, so I just felt like I was missing that part. So I still want to read Lynette Eason's books, though, because the suspense was so good. It was so good. Like, I just wanted to keep reading, like, you know, and that's the hard part with novellas. It's really hard to rate a novella, especially if you've not read what it's connected to. So I don't know. I really want to be transparent on that. Like, hey, if y'all have read what this is tied to, you're probably going to love it more than I did for whatever reason. But hey, the doctor's name was Riker Donahue, so you all may know where he's from. If he's in, I think somebody said he was in another book somewhere when I was trying to read the reviews. But yeah, so yeah, I gave that one 3 stars, and then let me go my notes. The second novella is Deadly Objective by Lynn Blackburn. I gave it 3.5 stars. I liked it better than the first one, but still, like, I felt like I was missing a little bit on the suspense, but after talking to Alicia, y'all, if I'd read like what this is connected to, yeah, I probably would have loved it a lot more. So I need to do that. But this is about Emily Dixon. She's a physical therapist. And then we have a Secret Service agent named Liam. And they're trying to like protect this vice president's son. He's 16-year-old Mason, and they're just trying to protect him, the whole Secret Service thing, and the family's being attacked, all this stuff. And I loved like the romance in this more than anything. They had really cute camping vibes and banter and all that stuff. She's not really a camper girl, so it was cool to see that. So I really like the chemistry of the couple. It was so good. But the suspense was like, whatever. So yeah, I give it 3.5 stars. I do want to read more of Lynn's books. I just picked up one today, so I'm fired up about it. The third novella in this is by Natalie Walters, and it's called Caught in the Crosshairs. I give it 5 stars. It was my favorite in this. It had the right amount of romance and suspense for me. It centered around CIA officer Claudia Gallegos and Army officer Ari Blackman. Sorry, I had to look at my notes. Claudia basically gets this like mysterious phone call and this text to hurry up and go to this prince's house, Prince Mohammed's house. Something's happened. They don't even say what it is. She's worked with this person before, so she ends up like running over there. She's a CIA officer. She doesn't really follow protocol, but she goes over there without telling anybody, and she gets there and people dead. So, what happened? And so she ends up like slipping on this, on stuff, and she's like falling over. And it's like, oh no. And then the police come in and it's like, hey, you, wait. Don't you just love my reenactments? But they're like, hey, stop, you there, kind of thing. And so she gets kind of blamed for what's happened, of course, before she can even get to the phone to call the police. And so I always like that kind of trope. It's fun. Ari comes in and he's like asking all these questions, and he soon realizes that she's not someone who would have done this. And so she starts getting like targeted. As it says, she starts getting targeted by these people trying to kill her, and they realize, hey, this something right. She did not do this, and that becomes the new mystery. What happened? Plus, trying to figure out who did the murders, and so everything took off from there. I like the romance and the suspense in this one, and I really want to read more of Natalie's books. Yeah, I don't know. Just all 3 of these ladies are awesome. Their writing styles are so much fun. I cannot wait to read more of their books. And I just want to, like I said, preface again, if I'd have read more of their books that are like tied to these, I probably would have loved them 10 times more. But overall, I give this 4 stars. And if you love these ladies, pick this up. You will have so much fun with these novellas. They are awesome. And it's cool because you can like read one. Each one's like 100 or so pages. A lot of fun. So yeah. Next book that I read was Tim Tebow's Shaken, and y'all, I'm gonna talk about both of these books next because they're both by Tim Tebow. So much fun. Thank you, Sky at Read for the Sky. She loves Tim Tebow, and she influenced me to pick these up. And also annotated to the nth degree, y'all. Your girl ain't never annotated a book, so we here. I did it for the first time, and it's really great to annotate like on a nonfiction. I think it's easy, and I just love these so much. I did listen to the audio on these as well, and he doesn't narrate them, unfortunately, but the narrator is still really great, and I was very emotional, especially in Mission Impossible. So Shaken and Mission Impossible, I each gave both of these 5 stars. Just really great Christian nonfiction reads. They just encourage you in the Lord, and I loved learning more. In this one, I loved learning more about his life and like his football career, because I'm a football girl. So, you know, if you don't love as much on the football side, you may not be as interested here, but he talked so much more about that. He really like let us in on the heart of who he is. And whether you're a lover of sports or not, I think you'll take something out of this for sure. He gives a lot of like real life stories and how those people came to the Lord and how the Lord worked in their lives. And that was really great. And then plus he always points to Jesus, tons of scriptures, testimonies, yes. And this one is Mission Impossible, and I liked it more than this one, which I was surprised, but this one talks a lot about his night to shine. I don't know if y'all know anything about what he does, but he is just such a good Christian influencer online. It's hard to find those, but it really touched my heart. I was crying. He does a lot to help special needs kids, and since my son is special needs with autism, it just touched my heart. It blessed me. I love this one. I probably will reread this again at some point. Again, he always points to Jesus, the Lord. The back of this says it's to find your mission, pursue your purpose, and go create a life that counts. And he even had a reference to a ministry that is local to me. And I was like, nuh-uh. So that was cool. And that whole story, though, was really emotional. But I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh. But it was just really impactful for me. So I love these. 5 out of 5. Great Christian nonfiction reads. Highly recommend. And I now love me some Tim Tebow. Okay, I really liked Tim Tebow before, but yes, ma'am. And I think he come out with a devotional now that just recently came out for this whole thing that I might want to check out. I don't know. The next book I want to talk about is actually a DNF. Maggie Knox, All I Want for Christmas. So disappointing. Y'all, if you see my Instagram, you already know all about this. But this disappointed me so bad. I went on a whole Instagram rant about this. So if I would have finished reading it, I probably would have given it 1 star, 2 star, 1.5. I don't even know. But this was the reason I had high hopes for this is I'm not going to get it out, I don't think. No, I am. Here it is. I loved the holiday swap. So Maggie Knox is a pen name where 2 authors write this book together. And I loved this book last year. It was like a 4 star. It was a lot of fun. It's like cheese to the nth degree, but it's a lot of fun. It was like a Hallmark cheese. I mean, we love cheese. But then this, why? I'm like literally mad. So this is set in Nashville. First of all, they didn't even feel Southern at all. I felt like all the Southern innuendos were afterthoughts. Like they didn't feel Southern to me at all. They're set in Nashville. It's supposed to be country music stars. I didn't get that vibe. That's the first thing. This whole thing it's got a fake dating trope, which is my favorite thing. So this whole thing was about Sadie and Max, and they were like contestants on this not game show, what am I saying? Country music star show, whatever. It's kind of like American Idol, okay? So it's like the country version of American Idol. I don't know, they call it Star Maker. And so they think that they've got their big break in Nashville, and they're really like just amazing on stage, and all these people want to like see them together. So the producers of the show say, y'all got to pretend to be together because ratings, okay? And I was like, okay, this is fun. Like, here we go. I was 10% in. And the guy has to drop the GD. Why? This is Christmas. This is Christmas book. So stupid. No. Like, okay, look. Like, I don't like that, especially in contemporary. Like, I can sometimes forgive language in books when it's wartime, old historical wartime. If you're the GD, they do that a lot in those old secular historical wartime books. Okay, I can move past a couple, but look, a Christmas book, he said it 6 or 7 times. Maybe it's 5 or 6, but I did skim to the end and I seen it again. And he said something in this. The guy in this book made me so mad. Look here, Max. Like, the relationship was going good. Why you gotta keep randomly saying it? It's not even, he wasn't even, like, you think of somebody saying that when they're mad? No, he wasn't even mad. So, it's a whole thing. He was just saying it, throwing out random, like, what is this, shock factor? I'm done. D-U-N, D-O-N-E, done. Like, no, it just, I couldn't deal with it. And I was 50%, and I messaged Oshina. I was like, girl, said about me being disappointed. I was like, she's like, oh no, what is it? And I was like, girl, here's why. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna push through. But then he said something about saying a prayer to Mother Nature, and he used the 2 cuss words in 1 sentence and had GD. Why? Peace. I was like, I'm done. So that's why I didn't this book. That's my rant. Okay. So not appropriate in a Christmas book. It's going off the shelf. I'm gonna sell it. Like, no. PSA, that's not needed. Totally unnecessary. Rant over. Okay, moving on. All right. The next book that I read was a buddy read with Sky, Chrissy, and Lindsay Lemus. And we had so much fun reading this, y'all. Death by Bubble Tea. This is by Jennifer Chow, and it is book number 1 in a new series. Book 2 comes out next year. Hey, we love to see it. We love a good series. And we are all about the bubble tea. Like, I've actually only had bubble tea once, but it's good, and I really want to go try it again. Chrissy got me trying the bubble tea, and Sky's never read a cozy mystery. We love to see it, and so we ended up buddy reading it. and it was so much fun. This was clean, no language at all, so much fun. And this book, y'all, had the food descriptions. I was hungry. So this is about two cousins, Yael Yee and Celine. Yael ends up losing her job at like this bookstore because they can't afford to keep her. And her cousin Celine is coming in from Hong Kong. She's kind of like this like high maintenance girl. She come in and she like knows all about marketing and social media. So they end up working together to make a stall, like a night market stall with like bubble tea and little food dishes and all these things. And their bubble tea is a big hit, literally, because somebody ended up dead. Okay, so like I said, they had their little night stall at this night market, whatever you want to call it, food stall, I don't even know what that is, but they were at the night market. And this customer that stopped in at their booth had the glass that was like, they had like these special light bulb glasses and whatever. There was like these little gold flakes that the cousin puts in the drink, which she said was edible. Girl, you gonna go jail. What you do? First chapter, what? So first 2 or 3 chapters, that's what the whole premise is. It's like, what did you do? You know, like, did that really kill the girl? Like, what happened? How did this person end up dead? Like, Celine just had the bright idea of putting the gold flakes in there as a garnish, and it didn't work out. So there's all this mystery of like, were they edible? Did somebody else? She had all these roommates. There was a romance, love interest stuff going down, all the things. And so these two ladies have to work together to try to clear their name. They're working with this detective, all the things there to figure out who killed this person. And it was fun. It was so much fun. Like, I just had a really great time with this. Also, the first sentence here, this had some really great literary references, y'all. It's a truth universally acknowledged that a single woman in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a book. Pride and Prejudice nod. Hey, like, so much like nods to literary references. And I liked our main character, Yael, because she is so funny. She don't have no phone. She don't even drive. She ain't into technology. Like, she's so old school. It was so much fun to see that. And her cousin's like the total opposite. Like, she's the social media expert. She's like, girl, you need to use this phone. It's easy. Google. Like, it was good. If you're into food cozy mysteries, you're going to love this. Even if you're not into food cozies, I highly recommend this. And this is a really great one to read as a first cozy. There's no language. It's clean. All the good things. Highly recommend. 4 stars. Cozy mysteries are never usually 5 stars for me anyway. So if a 4-star cozy, it's a good one, okay? And the final book I read this month, we finally at the end. Your girl needs something to drink. But the final book that I read this month was a 5-star favorite of the year, The Blackout Book Club by Amy Lynn Green. Y'all, love this so much. Great historical fiction. So wonderful. Character-driven story. Has so many great characters. Let's go. First off, thank you to Baker Publishing for sending this to Honestly Read and Review. I am so fired up that I read this. Y'all, so this is published by Bethany House. It just came out today, so I linked all the books in the description as usual. If you want to check this out, I'll link Baker's link down below because it's always cheaper to get it from Baker, but I always leave the Amazon links too if you're interested in those. But I try to, if Baker has this, I try to link it so you can buy directly from the publisher. But yeah, this book was really heartwarming. It just had like the perfect, I don't know, just something about the characters, the family, friendships, the love, top notch. It was just so top tier. It was my first book by this author, and I cannot wait to read more by her. I feel like that Amy really showed us what it really felt like to be in the World War II timeline, that period, because there's these characters that are struggling with so much. We have 4 beautiful women that are struggling with their own personal issues. Avis Montgomery is our primary character, but there's so many others that I would consider primary characters too. There's 3 other women that we follow their journeys. Avis, she is struggling with her husband, Russell. He's not able to fight in the war, so there's all this like this arguing back and forth, and you know, she doesn't feel like they have a great marriage right now, so they're struggling with that. He's trying to feel like he matters. He wants to be able to help in the war effort, but he can't, so of course that puts a strain on their marriage. So Avis, she is our main character here because we start off with her. She works at this library, but she's not really a reader. But Louise comes in, and she is the owner of the library that her father left her, and she plans to close the library. And Ava says, no, this is my job. No, you can't close this. So she just makes up that she has a Blackout book club. You can't close this. I got this Blackout book club to help with the war effort. And Louise is like, really? So when's the first meeting? And so Avis is like, next Saturday. So she has to like quickly come up with this Blackout book club, a real book club. And the reason it's called the Blackout book club is because, you know, that back then they had all the different blackouts that you had to do after a certain time. You had to like keep your curtains, no lights on, all that stuff. So she thought that this would be a great opportunity to help in the war effort to give people more of an incentive to read. So she calls it the Blackout book club. We are following Ava, so like I said, her husband, but Louise, she is the owner of the library. And so we're following her story and her background. And she's like a really hard up front character. Like you can see there's layers we need to peel back from her. And you get glimpses of her past and why she is the way she is. Hard things that she went through. My heart. I loved Louise in this book, truly. And you will too. So yeah, we have her, and you're getting a lot of her backstory. Then we have a character named Jenny, and there's all this stuff going on with her family. She has a broken family, and she's just trying to figure out what she's going to be doing. And then we got Martina, and Martina, she's trying to hide from her unstable husband. He's crazy. He's trying to find her and her kids. She's like, no, I don't want you around me or my kids. So Martina's like, go on, dude. But she keeps it all like private, like hidden. Nobody knows that her husband's trying to find her and all this stuff. And so she's trying to like kind of hide out from him, but he keeps coming in and all this stuff happens with them. And we have a lot of side characters. It's just a really great character-driven historical read. I feel like she really showed us what it meant to be in the wartime, worrying about the loved ones going off to war, the struggles that it put on our marriages and the families, the financial struggles, so much more than that. And the book club was my favorite part because we had these like, let me see if I can find one. Like, would have like notes from the Blackout book club, and it'd be like this whole page of notes, like the minutes from a meeting. I thought it was fun. They were funny. A lot of them were really funny to read, and so I had a good time with those. The book club was great because it just showed how this book club could bring together all these different types of people from different backgrounds who had a common love of reading. And one of my favorite quotes in this is, "For I have found that books make fine friends, but fellow readers even better." Need I say any more? Read this. Like, if you love a book about female friendships or just friendships in general in the World War II timeline, this is for you. So read it. Okay. So that's it. This video, again, is too long. I mean, what do I say? What do I say? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below, are any of these books interesting to you? Again, the books will be linked, but are you interested in reading any of these? Are you going to pick them up soon? Have you read them? Let's just discuss it all in the comments below. Hope you're having a great week. I am working on all of the Vlogmas stuff right now, so I did buy some books, so I might film a quick mini book haul. Yeah, I might. I shouldn't have bought. Why did I do this? Okay. Anyway, I don't know. I just don't have a whole lot for this week. Next week is Thanksgiving, all the good things, and I'll have some time off work. I'm going to take next Wednesday and Friday, of course. So, plus Thursday, we're already off. But I hope that you all have a blessed Thanksgiving. If I don't say it before then, I'm sure I will. But I just hope that you all have the best holiday with your family. I'm over here in a Christmas vibe, but I love me some Thanksgiving. So, anyway, I hope you all have a great day. Love you all so much. Thank you for all your support on my channel. Let's have conversations in the comments, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all.